Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use the promo code JUICE and a $10 bet turns into $200 if either team scores a touchdown. Hey, Rams didn't score any touchdowns. Only touchdown scored involving Matt Stafford was a pick six, baby. 3-1 on the picks, and man, so close to going 4-0. Still a nice 2.4 units of profits. Let's go, baby. All right, going to break down the picks, and then Tuesday night baseball. Let's go, baby. Just realized I said baby a number of times. Normally not my style, but hey, been hitting some NFL, college. Let's go. All right, first up, Matt Stafford passing yards. Get the loser out of the way. Gave it out at 250.5. It ends up closing 254 passing yards, which is pretty brutal overall, but even more brutal the way it actually shook out. If you're watching it and sweating it out live like I was, it was brutal. So the Stafford has that late fumble because I thought they were going to get it on that last drive, but he fumbles it. I'm celebrating because he had, I think, like 240 something. Or no, maybe it was even like 250. Passing yards, and then 49ers run a few plays, end up having to punt it back. Rams get it back, and you're like, oh man, all they need is one completion, and that's it. He drops back to pass. He almost gets sacked. He is like this close to getting sacked. He gets off the passing play. He completes it, gets over the yardage, and then they call a run play to end the game. Like, what are you doing? You almost get him sacked. You almost get him injured for what? I don't know. I think the NFL needs to investigate not only the Tua concussion stuff, but come on. That Matt Stafford clearly, Sean McVay clearly had the overpassing yards. The NFL needs to investigate. If we're going to take gambling seriously, I am calling for a league investigation. That was a brutal beat. George Kittle only caught 2 passes, almost had a third one in the end zone there that got called back. The under was pretty easy, 4.5 receptions, and nailed the handicap. Like I said, he was going to be used for blocking a bunch, so it felt good to fade his receptions because he just wasn't going to run a ton of routes, and that's kind of was the story there. Matt Stafford interception, that comes in. Now he is leading the league once again in interceptions. He just throws picks, man. He is, and he's a little banged up as well. Oh, that could have been a really bad beat as well because they had a couple of other good opportunities besides the one they took to the house. 49ers had one they dropped in the end zone. They also had another chance for one late, but ultimately it didn't matter because he got the interception. Only needed one. Thank you, Matt Stafford. Man, he is just it is just easy money. And then the 49ers get the win. I mean, Rams didn't score a touchdown. Never really felt like they were in that game. 49ers, they get up for these games, especially against the Rams. I think Shanahan is now 7-0 in the regular season against Sean McVay. Of course, the Rams getting that one win in the NFC Championship game. But, it just felt like a good bounce-back spot for the Niners here. And this Rams team does not look great. Pretty rough. So, now, let's get to the picks. Before we do that, speaking of 49ers, how awesome would it be if you had a brand new autographed Brandon Ayuk jersey? You can win one. All you got to do is go to youtube.com/bettingpros, subscribe to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, comment on this very video, and you're automatically entered to win an autographed Brandon Ayuk jersey, courtesy of Pristine Auction. All right, 3 MLB plays. And that'll do it for the slate. First up, Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks -115 on the money line at the Milwaukee Brewers. Get that price over at BetMGM. Brewers have been eliminated from the playoffs. Sorry, Brewers. Actually, sorry, not sorry. I don't know who says that. Not sorry for hating on the Brewers here. They almost tried to knock out my Phils. Didn't get it done. This is a dream crusher game for the Brewers, right? Like, they thought they were alive. They thought they had a chance in the playoffs, and now they got knocked out. I don't think they're going to get up for this game. MLB is never easy, but especially at the end of the season, I just lean motivation. You will get snake bitten a little bit because, there's 162 of these games. Who knows what's going to really happen at the end, especially when you eliminate motivation for some of these teams. But I don't see the Brewers getting up for this game. I think they're going to be, it's just low motivation for the Brewers. And Zach Gallen for the Diamondbacks. He's been great on the road, 6-2 with a 2.4 ERA on the road. So give me Zach Gallen. You're also fading the Brewers pitcher Eric Lauer. Again, it's less a fade of him because he's pretty solid at home. This is just more a motivational fade for the Brewers to get up for this game. So 1 unit on the Arizona Diamondbacks, minus 115 on the money line. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Rays, minus 115, also on the money line, at the Red Sox. Get that over on BetMGM. Rays are coming off a 4-3 loss, so a nice bounce back spot for them. Red Sox are also one of the worst teams as a home dog. 10-20 only this season on the money line as a home dog. That is just not good. And Red Sox have been struggling, especially the past couple of weeks, against left-handed pitching, a.k.a. enter Jeffrey Springs, the pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, who is very good on the road. And obviously the fact that he's a lefty, I think, will give them an edge here. 5-2 Springs is on the win-loss, 2.64 road ERA. Going up against Nathan Eovaldi for the Red Sox, who is much worse at home. Red flag alert here for the Red Sox, fading them. He is 4-0 with a 2.64 ERA on the road, but 1-3 and a 5.83 ERA at home. So red flag there for Eovaldi on the Red Sox. Riding with Jeffrey Springs, bounce back for the Rays. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays, minus 115 on the money line over at BetMGM. Last but not least, you're about to witness history. You're about to witness me picking against one of my teams. It's a rare situation spot for me. Phillies at the Astros. I'm actually going to take the Astros, minus 1.5 on the run line, plus 130 over on DraftKings. I mean, the entire city of Philadelphia is going to be hungover. The Phillies are going to be hungover. I mean, you saw them celebrating. You know, Philly Rob with his speech about how the franchise has waited over a decade for this moment. They're popping champagne. They're shooting it all over the place. They're not going to get up for this game against Justin Verlander. Plus, no motivation to burn through any, good pitchers. Like, I just don't see them getting up for this game at all. So I love the Astros on the money line, on the run line, minus 1.5, plus 130 on the run line. This is a great spot to fade the Phillies. I'm not going to say that very often, but again, great spot to fade the Phillies. Champagne was everywhere. First time in the postseason in over a decade. And you have a great pitcher in Justin Verlander going for the Astros. And you're thinking, what's his motivation? I think he is going to be out there trying to make that last push for the Cy Young. Obviously, Verlander's numbers are really good. 9-1 at home with a 1.73 ERA. Going up against the Phillies pitcher, Ranger Suarez, who's normally pretty good on the road. But again, this is a motivational fade of the Phillies. You saw that, they had a bunch of family there. They're going nuts. I just don't see them getting up for this meaningless game for them. And I do think Houston has some motivation. Not necessarily as a team, but if Verlander pitches maybe one earned run or zero, I think it's going to be easy enough for the Astros on the other side to get a couple of runs, cover this minus 1.5 on the run line. Again, I don't like fading the Phils, but this is the perfect time again. So recap the picks. Astros minus 1.5, plus 130 on the run line. Tampa Bay Rays minus 115 on the money line over at BetMGM. Last but not least, Diamondbacks minus 115 on the money line. Get that over on BetMGM. And of course, speaking of BetMGM, use the promo code JUICE. Bet $10, get $200 if either team scores a touchdown. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other show, Sports Gambling Podcast. Just broke down the college football week 6 slate. 14 picks ATS. Going to be giving out some of the best bets. And of course, primetime stuff. Because if we got a football game on a Wednesday night, I'm going to be picking it. And speaking of you guys know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.